A huge shout out to the overthinkers. An overthinker. He watches the show. Overthinker. He watches the show.
Overthinkers. Shout out my friend too. Overthinkers. Shout out my friend too.
Thank you, overthinkers.
Keep inspiring the next generation.
Shout out to the overthinkers. Shout out to the Pela. Much love.
To my overthinkers, mamelo kuchopha ngeke kuphume buyakhula nizinja nikhokho yazini as overthink is overachieve. Kuchopha ngeke
I'm stealing that. I've stolen that one. I've stolen it.
Yazini as overthink is
I'm stealing that. I've stolen it.
As overthinking is an overachiever. Welcome everybody to the Overthinking Football Show, a place where we get to speak about this game that we love, guys. And we look at South African football primarily, then go into African football, and every now and then we might dabble in what's happening over in Europe. But this is a very interactive show, so welcome if it's your first time watching the show. What's great about being here is that you're able to jump in and actually speak to me. You're able to jump in and tell me your thoughts about whatever it is that we're going to speak about this evening. So feel free to follow me first and then jump in. We have two panels that are going to happen tonight. So two panels, and then the last hour is going to be the members show. Man, my members have been neglected a little bit, so I'm going to allow them to also be able to weigh in the last hour. Of course, there's only one big thing that happened this weekend. There's one big thing that happened this weekend, and it is the game versus Kaizer Chiefs and Mamelodi Sundowns. Because on the show, if Sundowns, Chiefs, Pirates, Bafana, Bafana style and UWC next week when they go into the Champions League, when those teams are playing, we will be here watching the game together, speaking together. So that is a watch along. We watched Kaizer Chiefs versus Mamelodi Sundowns this past weekend in the Carling Black Label Knockout Cup. And of course, Mamelodi Sundowns, 4-0 winners in that game. 21 shots, 8 on target versus Kaizer Chiefs with 10 with 4 on target. Mamelodi Sundowns had 59% possession and created double the amount of big chances that Kaizer Chiefs created. Hi guys, no, it was on and popping in that game, and Mamelodi Sundowns really did show the golfing class between them and Kaizer Chiefs. So that is where we're going to go, guys. Two panels, 50 minutes. So that means that everybody's going to get 5 minutes. Make your point. I ask you a question or two, and then let's please respect the people that are jumping in with us so that we can give each other time to actually speak. Then in the last hour, you guys are going to hear from my members, and we're going to have a members show for the last hour. Just man, so that you can hear from the really incredible humans, the incredible humans that exist in that WhatsApp group. If you want to join the Overthinking Football WhatsApp group, head on over to YouTube, click on subscribe, click on join, and in the members area is the link to the WhatsApp group. You can come in and we can have some really dope conversations. Okay, guys, feel free to request. Let's have a conversation about what we saw over the weekend. Mamelodi Sundowns beating Kaizer Chiefs 4-0. Just for a reminder, Williams was in goal. Kekana Oba Simvala Mudau Mudiba. Mokwena, Alenda Ribeiro, Reyners, and Shalulile was the starting lineup for Mamelodi Sundowns. Then for Kaizer Chiefs, we had Ntwari Frosla Miguel, Dottley Cross, Zwane Blom, Shabalala Duba, Sirino, and Chivavairo as the starting lineup for the Kaizer Chiefs side. No, members are not allowed for this first part. Just to give everybody a chance. Let me let in people and let's have a conversation about this game. Wake up call, maybe, Kaizer Chiefs fans. Wake up call that maybe the team is not where it needs to be right now. Hi, Prasem. Hey, Prasem, remember. Okay, Prasipo, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, OT. I'm good. What a weekend.
I don't want to talk about
but today, get the Kaizer Chiefs. It's November 2024.
Aye, man.
Maybe we can understand that already.
I give out to understand.
Anyway, OT.
Yes, how do you feel about the game?
Yeah. No, the game, HOT, to make it worse, I was at the stadium. I thought I was going to watch an end-to-end or at least a balanced match. Unfortunately, at least a balanced match. They scored early, but I think the Kaizer Chiefs coach has to try as much as he can to try to change tactics. Like I spoke in the show the last time about his counter pressing. It doesn't work when you play teams that sit back, and you can't play Sundowns with that lineup and try to go pound for pound. At least try to defend, and then you see OT. As much as we are not coaches, you must come up with a strategy how you're going to beat them, and then maybe have Dupree's, someone with pace, and then wait for them to come at you and then attack them, and then having extra players. Especially, I've seen that Chiefs defense is somehow not 100% tight. So as much as we like it, it's not 100% tight. And I couldn't understand that guy, Miguel. How do you tackle someone to get a second yellow when the score is already 3-0? If it's 1-1, you are taking one for the team. It's better. So I think maybe let's give Miguel maybe a chance. Maybe he needs to improve. But then that was uncalled for. The performance was not good. It was not good. And OT will always he will always take it down to the coach's tactics, whether we like it or not. We'll always take it down to the coach's tactics.
Now, Prasipa, I want to ask you.
You can't raise expectations.
I want to ask you, is the honeymoon over? Because kasi new manager pounds. A new manager comes in, la performer, molimo. Is the honeymoon over? Is it now time to look at the team critically and analyze them? Is it now time to ask questions of Nabi?
Yeah, I think OT, he now needs to start coming up with new ideas. Like I spoke about Modi, Danzan, and other players, giving other players a chance so that you can have a pool of players to select from. Because the minute you start playing the same 14 players, then when things are not working out, then you start getting. I think, as you say, the honeymoon phase is over now. He needs to start. And I know, as a soccer fan, not necessarily a Kaizer Chiefs fan, maybe next season we'll start criticizing him, but then at the same time, we need to see what you are cooking if you are going somewhere. That's the other thing. That's the other thing. We can't
somebody who's cooking. Yeah,
somebody who's cooking. We can see that this person is building toward this level. Like you once said that he needs to decide on a pattern. We have seen that he's playing with counter press. Yeah. But then you can use the very same tactic. But then if you want to play counter press with Sundowns, have numbers behind the ball. You can't press Sundowns from up there. They're going to destroy you, obviously. Try to come up, have numbers in the back, have 8 or 9 behind the ball, and then if you win it, you have the Dupree's, you go at them at pace. Then it can maybe work.
Prasipo, in the last minute there, Mangoba, how do you feel about him? Should Sundowns fans be happy? Is he winning them over? What's the feeling that you get from Coach Mangoba in this team?
I think somehow he has felt the pressure of playing Motaung and Mokwena, which sort of are not the type of players maybe he wanted to play. And you know, supporters, you can win them today, tomorrow they turn back on you. Especially when you coach a team like Sundowns. I think so far so good for him because he's collecting points. But once they lose one game, you know, the problem with Sundowns is if they lose one game. Remember, they're not like Chiefs and Pirates where we are used to losing there and there. The minute they lose a game, they turn on him. Then it's a problem. That's the thing with the supporters, OT. You can't guarantee them. That is what I'm saying. For Chiefs fans, I say be patient, but let's see what the coach is trying to do. Because personally, from my point of view, with my little experience of watching football, I've seen that he wants to play counter press. But you can't play the same strategy because that is why Kaizer Chiefs is dominated in every game that they are playing. Because they're not trying to keep position, but they are trying to attack.
For time, Prasipo.
They're trying to counter press, yes.
For time. Let me bring in Glenn. Thank you so much, Prasipo.
Thanks,
Glenn, welcome to the show. I hope you're well. Funny, Mamelodi Sundowns, Kaizer Chiefs. What are your thoughts about the game?
I don't have a view, my brother. Chief, we were beaten to a pulp, Lord. We were murdered.
Yeah.
We were murdered. I'm a pain. You know what, my brother?
Yeah.
Kaizer Chiefs, you know? Yeah. The problem was that the tactic that was used was very wrong. Eh? The plan behind the coach was very wrong. Eh? So first thing is first, we go to watch Mamelodi Sundowns play live for more than 5 times. For more than 5 times, ne?
And
you come up with
5 times. Yafagas.
Imagine. Imagine, 5 times, and you come up with a strategy like that one. But it's typical of the North African coaches. That's why Sundowns always murder them in Africa. They give them 5-4. It's because of their stubborn when it comes to tactics. You should have used 5 defenders, 2 holding midfielders, and then we use space as our exit plan. You needed Dupree, you needed Esail. That was the simplest plan that he needed to adopt. So the strategy was wrong from the start. So I'm wondering, ne? We have analysts. What are they analyzing, Bila? Because if you analyze a team, you look at your weaknesses. You counter your weaknesses in relation to what? In relation to their strengths. Because Saturday's game, ne, was simply a game where Chiefs needed not to lose. So when you needed not to lose, even if you can go to extra time 0-0, you are fine. You see, we are fine. Because if you look at Sundowns and you want to play them pound for pound, football will kill you real death.
So then, Glenn, what do you say to the argument that we barely have our plan A working properly? Now, it's a plan B, defender, pass. Can these players, do they have the capacity to do both things? Or should man, even if we lose to Sundowns, lose playing the way that you want to play so that you can fix those things? What do you say to that argument, Ray? I just play through it so that the players can learn how to adapt in this formation.
You know what's my problem, ne? My problem is that Navi has a squad that is not even suited for his tactics. That's number one. He has that, and then you cannot force something to work for you even if you don't have the tools to make it work. So when he came to South Africa, he needed to know that where I'm going, I'm not going to have the correct quality to execute my plans on the pitch. Yeah. So Lena, he reminds me of Pep Guardiola when he came to Manchester City. He was beaten left, right, and center, and then he quickly adapted and said, "But in order for me to safeguard my dignity and the team's success, I need to change course. I need to change plans." So now we need to do that also. You see.
So is the honeymoon over? It sounds like the honeymoon is over, Glenn. It sounds like now.
I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something. The game against Marumo Gallants, the first official game, showed us that here we already have a problem here. Even this Miguel guy, yes, he's a person who takes responsibility, he holds people accountable, but he's very ill-disciplined. For his first 6 games, he has yellow cards in all of them. He has yellow cards in all of them. So protect Miguel. Get Tatanari to play on the right, Dudley to play on the left, and him to play in the middle. Because for me, he seems to be that kind of a defender who loves covering people. He doesn't have that hancho mentality where he goes out and get the ball and makes good tackles. Even if he makes good, he's already late. He's slow. Now we've seen him. Next season is going to be one of the most useless players in the PSL.
Okay.
That one, I am sure about it.
For time's sake. Oh, very quickly, Glenn Mangoba, how should people feel about him? Very, very quickly.
How should people feel about Mangoba in terms of the performance?
Jay.
So far so good. That's all I can say. But if he goes on to win his group in the Champions League, then Mangoba will be underlining his greatness. But so far so good.
Okay. For time's sake, guys, please, Tata Scream. We're trying to get 80,000 likes tonight. So Tata Scream, and King, Kupoya, carry gift, man, please, man, Kupali gifting. Let me go to Black Viper, how are you?
Mamelodi Sundowns, welcome back. We missed you. I like what you're doing with the place, revitalizing the FNB Stadium. So, Honama Pagania, we are good. This is Black Viper, everyone. I am having a good time.
Hey, Black Viper. Black Viper, nake batla o tseba ka wena 4-0 as somebody na shebile outside. We won it 1-game.
Yeah, man, it was a Netflix movie. Like we predicted last week. That game was a Netflix movie, man. Like the best game in the entire season. Even if it's not a league game, but the best one yet. Like even if Loka Patala 1,000 rands, I was again. This was worth watching. The best game ever, guys. The best game. Like what we saw in that game, there was drama. There were tactics. There were goals. There were skills. There were technical abilities. There was goalkeepers making good passes. Like, did you see that pass what Roland Williams gave to Ribeiro on the middle of the park? That almost ended up being a goal. Like, it's unfortunate Chaluli couldn't convert that one. Like, that was a Ballon d'Or goal kick pass.
Okay.
Like, this goalkeeper, man, he's incredible, guys. Like,
Marakari, you're saying Netflix movie, Kopitor, Marako, Soweto, Nesi Netflix movie, Ko Naturena, Nesi Netflix movie. It sounds like you're describing Sundowns affair.
Yeah. Like already, why not? Steven Seagal, we expect a lose. Steven Seagal beats everyone, even though from the beginning is gonna win. You're still gonna watch him. Only you need to know is that so that's what happened. We predicted Sundowns to win. And what even like more blatantly is that we predicted 7 goals. Sundowns are floppé. Second half. Sundowns, we won goals. And again. Come on, guys, you're Billy. The man was saying, and then like that game was good so much that Betway, sports bet, whatever you want to call it, like they bet it in so many differences because they predicted Sundowns to win, but Baba Nedbank Cup risky bareng 3-0 ka first half. Like you could see this game like this game was red hot, guys.
So tell me about Nebi. Tell me about Nebi, Mara. Tell me about Nebi before. Is the honeymoon over now? Is the honeymoon over, or are Chiefs fans still going to give him some grace?
The honeymoon is over, man. Like it's over for him. I don't know exactly yet. So no, there's nothing he's gonna do this season. Maybe next season, if but the honeymoon is over. In my own perspective, in my own view, the honeymoon is over. Because just already game take leaking 5. Already sort of the one cup he had at least chancing and we win. He must forget about the Nedbank. He ain't gonna get the Nedbank. Nedbank he belong about 2 fair. Only 2 people. Sundowns, the Pirates. Only. He want a chance to win a Nedbank. Same as the league. So the man has nothing now to play for. Because whatever he's gonna play for, they'll just keep on hammering him. And we must now salute Mamelodi Sundowns. But come on, all of us now must salute Mamelodi Sundowns because now Botswana, they really are making their place in such a way looking, hey, this is an unprecedented, guys.
Yeah.
Botswana Bawashapa, they mean business. And Bawashapa, and let you be frustrated with saying, how about you still over frustrated? Look what they did in that match. Supporter came out of nowhere. But he have to stay now. But they know he's not here for them. He's here for the referee. So sometimes they're playing a professional football at a higher level, guys. So now points Nabi must take care of his own house. The reason why I shall play because what's wrong. If I he must athole ka taba ya VAR ya di referee. These are out external factors like handa sheba ntwe tse kantle ke le mo a tlo joa ha sheba ne happy lore Yeah, why?
For time, Black Vibe. Oh, tabile too much, but let me go to Fana. Fana, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, how are you, my brother?
I'm recovering, but I'll be okay. Funny, Mamelodi Sundowns, Kaizer Chiefs. How do you feel about the game?
Hey, I don't think I will recover from this one. I was a laughing stock at work. But look, I think I think the problem started with the strategy, like how the brothers who were talking here said. It started with the strategy. There was no way we were gonna beat Sundowns because that was the bafana players which almost won AFCON. So I think it was like 7 of them that were playing in the AFCON. Yeah. So there was no way. I think, in my opinion, Nabi was supposed to park the bus and put Dupree instead of Chivavaro because Dupree have got the pace. And then every time when they clear the ball, they were supposed to target Serino, and then Serino just passes the ball to Dupree and try to win like that because there was no way you were going to win with a pound-to-pound with Sundowns in that squad that Sundowns was playing with. So they were supposed to just try to park the pass and make sure that they target someone who've got a pace like Ashley Dupree. Because it was a cup game, it's not a league game. You don't have to try and maintain your tactic and formation and pattern and all of that. So I think it failed with the strategy that the coach tried to use. But also, I think there is something I identified. I don't know how Fiacre Ntwari was parachuted to Kaizer Chiefs. I don't know, but I'm not convinced with our goalkeeper. And I'm not blaming him just because a lot of people have been criticizing him. But I've identified 3 things with Fiacre Ntwari. One, he's not vocal. It's not like our previous goalkeepers, your Kunes, your Peterson, those ones, they speak, they shout at the defense. They always try to organize the defense. But you don't see that often with Fiacre Ntwari. And also, he's not aggressive on the box. He's not, in control of that box, of that area. And 3, he's not good with the aerial balls. So I think those are the things that they need to try and fix with him. And if he's not willing to raise the bar on that one, I think they must just try another goalkeeper. Maybe give Vuma a chance to play again. Because I saw him playing on that game with the Marumo Gallants. I think it was the Makufe Cup game. He didn't do bad. Also, when it comes to Uflos and Dylan Solomons, I think there is something I like with Dylan Solomons over Uflosa. Every time Uflosa gets the ball, he tries to cross the ball. And then when you cross the ball, anyone can get the ball. It's either the goalkeeper is going to get the ball or it's going to reach the player, your teammates. But he still needs time to try and control the ball. So it doesn't work for us. When it comes to that. So I prefer Dylan Solomon in that area because every time when he gets the ball, he tries to pass. Like how Motaung does it. You'll remember the second goal that Sundowns scores. Motaung did the simple thing. He just takes the ball and give their teammates a 6-yard. Yeah, so that's how they score. So I think we must try that often. But yeah, I hope that in January when the coach gets an opportunity to buy new players, maybe we will have an upper hand and try to dominate. But for now, we still need a lot to work on.
How much time does Nabi have? Just in the last minute, how much time does Nabi have?
In terms of
just him being at Kaizer Chiefs, is there a countdown that has started now, or are we still fine with him?
No, I think I think Unabi changed a lot in such a short space of time. So I think the Kaizer Chiefs fan must be patient with him and give him a chance to apply his strategy. But from the Kaizer Chiefs that we were watching last season compared to the Kaizer Chiefs that is playing, I don't know what happened with the Sundowns game. But when you look at the previous games that Sundowns Kaizer Chiefs played, I think that a lot has changed in Kaizer Chiefs when you compare them with last season.
Okay. For time's sake, let me bring in Bongs. Bongs, welcome to the show. How are you?
No, I'm fine there, Brauti.
Mplele, 4-0. Mamelodi Sundowns, Kaizer Chiefs. How do you feel about the game?
Well, come they are right. It was like a movie. Rebone so many mistakes from Kaizer Chiefs. Well, it started in the midfield, Kabuzwani giving away the ball.
Yeah.
I feel like especially in the middle field, defense, goalkeeper hand. Because for Nantuari is not like Boku, Ne, Bobaloyi, who can marshal the defense and tell the defense where to close and where to attack. Because Kanako Yakune, Nerenalabatuatanabo, Mashamaite, who could go forward and know hore tower Otemrao Wakono Mutu Samrao. Also, striker, because we don't have a striker in Renga Chivavairo. Because every time Renga would like the chance, how they say this. And a Kamuna Sundowns on ready made already on. Plus, players, I think, players have a balance squad. They score always, they win always. But it didn't take a lot of time. Sundowns if it more than Leona Inkile now go like 5 years or a build. So look on as Kaizer Chiefs fans need to be patient, give him time. Because then he said it himself when he came to the team. Oh no, there's still a lot of work to do. We have to first build a team. Secondly, we have to have a team that can compete with Pirates and Sundowns. So then, thirdly, we can all now compete the Pirates and Sundowns. So we don't need to rush the coach. No, coach has to deliver. We have to be patient. At least at least the top 8, it's okay for now. Because at Kaizer Chiefs.
Leadership. You mentioned Bontwari and all those people. Do we have leaders at Kaizer Chiefs? Kabari, there was a situation where the stadium Rajua, Kamo stadium Musaroka, Batuba, Kwatile, Kamo referee, Libo player by shouter, Libo coach by shouter. Do we have a problem of leadership, Kaizer Chiefs?
Yeah, we do have a problem with leadership because everyone is doing their own thing. Responsibility. Okay, let me try and be the man who can push Kaizer Chiefs forward. Besides, Sireno trying to play his own game and Duba trying to copy what Sireno is doing so that at least by greater chances. There's no one leading the team. Wabana League captain Yaruna even got a red card because of discipline. Our players are also ill-disciplined, but we have a yellow card in every game. Keep even clean sheets. Besides the 4-0 game, every winning against Supersport, that's the only time when Tori had a clean sheet.
How much responsibility goes to Coach Nebi Katabayena? Yeah, leadership, yeah, control, yeah, the mistake. I don't think Sundowns exposed new mistakes. Does he have pressure to go and fix them now?
Yeah, he has pressure. He has to try and fix the team. See who now build a team as solid. Agree first 11 high pay who really is the leader in the team? Because Miguel Liliana is not showing leadership as such.
Okay. How should Sundowns fans feel Kamangoba?
Mangoba yena wabona utwetse a team that was already made 5 years ago. Pitso. So yena utwetse ready made it love. So hana matata yena in his side. Besides.
Oh, Bongs. Okay, while I try to see if Bongs is going to come back, I don't want to see members in the request. You've got a whole hour to go after this. So from 8 o'clock, it's going to be the members side of this. So the members are in the WhatsApp group. They're going to come in and we're going to have a conversation. But for now, I want to see how many people can bring in. Since Ubongs, it seems like he's gone. This is what I want to know. And this is maybe a question for the comments. Has Chiefs gotten better with the signings we've made? So is Miguel an upgrade on Msimango Nditlokwe? Is Dotley an upgrade on Msimango Nditlokwe? Is Cross an upgrade on Dove, on Santi, maybe even Mashian, you can put him there. Is Cirino an upgrade, that much of an upgrade? And is the honeymoon over, guys? Is the honeymoon over at Kaizer Chiefs? How do you guys think the Kaizer Chiefs fans will take on Nabi going forward? So since I've got a little bit of time, let me bring in the guys. Please, Tata Scream, guys. Tata Scream, please, so that we can have the conversation. In my opinion, while I get people in, I think Chiefs is emotional this season. And when I mean emotional, that new manager bounce concept comes into this. So Nabi comes in, they play very well. You can see that he's doing something forward. But the defense and the midfielders and all of those people, I think we still have an issue there. And one of the problems is that when you are winning and you're high and you're happy, you overlook certain things. We overlook the fact that for the first time, I think in the PSL era, Kaizer Chiefs have conceded in all 6 of their first games, or all 5 of their first league games, and now they're conceding 6 in 6 now. We've lost a couple of games. Our captain gets yellow cards over and over again, culminating now in a red card. He just came back from suspension. Our midfield still does the same problems that we've had previously in our midfield. There's still some issues that have existed and are still there. And maybe Mamelodi Sundowns only served to take advantage of those things as a big, serious team does. And maybe up to this point, we're smiling and being happy. But I think it was a very good reality check. Let me go to Nkosi. Nkosi, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hello, Mr. OT.
Nkosi, 4-0, Sundowns Chiefs. How do you think about the game? What do you think of the game?
The game was pretty tough for Chiefs. They conceded 4 goals. I think they need to improve a lot in there.
Okay.
The club needs a lot of work. Improve a lot. Also, the signings that we signed this season, I think.
Guys, please mute when you come in. Please mute. Let's respect everyone.
It's just that we need tactically. We need to improve tactically. And the game of Sundowns, we needed to stay in a low block. Yeah.
Marani Jimmy low block. Then you wanna go play Sundowns in low block when we haven't done low block up to this point. Isn't it a risk?
It's a risk, but at least you trying to defend, and we hoping at least we go to penalties and try and win there.
Is the honeymoon over for Coach Nabi? How do you think going forward fans are going to treat him?
Fans, I think they will expect more of him, but let's take one game at a time as fans.
Are you happy about the players that we have now?
Yes, I'm happy. It's just that we need a proper holding midfielder and a striker.
Maran Logan abachincha though. We've seen Blom, we've seen Mark, we've seen Mtetwa, we've seen Castillo, we've seen the guy who plays for Supersport now, Patrice Motsepe. Hey, kunini bachincha man. At what point do we say maybe it's not the players?
When I see Coach Nabi's playing style, I think we need some Tshwane or someone who can hold the ball. Maybe Dolly, if he was still in Kaizer Chiefs, he would Zamanyana. Yeah.
Is there an expectation then, Konabi, that he must work with what he has? He must build something with what he has.
I think, Nabi needs to focus one game at a time. The fans must trust him. Yeah.
And then what do you think of Coach Mangoba?
Mangoba, I think he's doing great in the league, but in CAF, he will struggle a little bit because of the games domestically and Africa. Yes.
Mara squad is so big. Surely he can use that squad.
Ish. We will see.
Okay, no, Cosby, thank you so much. Let me go to Musi. Musi, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you.
Good on yourself, man, OT.
Ish.
Evening to the guys on the panel and on the things as well.
Ukala Gneti, man. Section. Tell me, Phonic, how do you feel about that game?
OT, let me come in as a general fan, not a Kaizer Chiefs fan, just a general football fan. OT, how many games did Kaizer Chiefs lose this season?
Huge, quite a few.
If I'm not mistaken.
2 in the league.
2. 2 in the league. Against who?
Sundowns and Super Sport, yeah.
Super Sports, yeah. Now I'll ask you a question. We Nations Cup. We Nations Cup. Where did South Africa finish?
3rd.
Semi-final. 3rd, yes. So now, me and you, let's be honest. You look at that back 5.
Yeah.
Yes, Sundowns. You look at the middle field, yes, Sundowns. That's the 80% of those players, it's our national team.
Okay.
On the other hand, you've got the coach that is still trying to figure out who's who in the zoo. So when you try to build your team like now, you don't get momentum because there's FIFA break, there's this. Right now, Chiefs is not playing. When are they playing? They lost. They lost on the weekend 4-0. When are they playing? How is the coach gonna get it right when you play stop? You're not gonna get it right. The next thing when you it's Sundowns. We played Sundowns twice. Do you expect Nabi to beat Sundowns? The formidable team, the team that has been winning the league for 7 years in a row, for 7 seasons in a row. Guys, you are asking Nabi to cross the ocean, to walk across the ocean, of which it can't happen overnight. Let's talk football. Let's not talk politics. You see that defense, we'll end up saying our defense is not good. Why? Because our defense is not protected. Every time, if it's not Dudley, it's Miguel who gets a yellow card. If it's not them, it's the left and right back.
Yeah.
They get yellow cards. Why? They are not protected. You look at the weekend's game. There's no defensive midfielder. CDM. I've been crying the Katsande type of player that is gonna say to when the game starts, he goes straight to Allende and say, "Yes, we are playing here. You must be aware." When Allende gets the ball, he knows what's coming to him. So now Allende will get the ball and he will turn and make that pass. You go to Ribeiro, you say, we are playing here. We are not just here to enjoy. Yeah, you need to tell them that, you let them know that, no, you are playing against a team. So our midfield is too soft. Like, you get the ball, you just jog the player, you don't go to the player. How do you expect Nabi to, Agent once said, let the coach assemble the team. Give him time. So let's give the coach time to assemble. We lost. Yes, we lost 4-0 to. It could have been. You. Let me tell you the truth. when I look at Mangoba Mnete, I just see Ancelotti, because Ancelotti's got material, but I don't rate Ancelotti when it comes to tactics. Tactically, is not good. He's a good motivator. It's like Mangoba. Should we had Rulani on that game on the weekend, we were gonna get 7 or 8. Because Rulani can read the game very quick. He can change tactics very fast. We were gonna get 10, 7 or 8. We were gonna get on the weekend. Because I look at that team, I look at this started Sundowns team. I was like, yo, we're not gonna break this team.
No, Busa, I just wanna push back. Let me play devil's advocate. I hear us saying that Mamelodi Sundowns was going to beat us. They've beaten us in the last 10 games. We have not won a game versus Sundowns in 10 tries. Mara, 4-0, isn't that a bit too far? Because I can also say, I think Polokwane City was a couple of spots ahead of us. They don't have international defenders. They don't have international midfielders. They're really the only big international they have is Apolis. Yet they were able to go to Mamelodi Sundowns and have a plan. So is 4-0 too far? Maybe 1-0, 2-0. Even Tseki was 1-1-ing, was 1-0-ing. Are we letting maybe the team and Nabi off of the hook in that regard?
And Tseki lost 4-0 AOT. It was 4.
No, but remember he took Rulani to 1-1 and 1-0. He only lost one game, and even that one was down to the mistake here Castillo, if I remember correctly, and Peterson doing this when saving the ball.
I understand, but that was he was playing defensive football, of which I don't think Nabi is the fan of that. Nabi is the fan of going forward play. That's why he's playing these MTC boys. He's saying to them, go on and play your game. Feel free, play your game. Give these boys 1 or 2 seasons. These boys will be forced to be reckoned. So, I can't blame. Sundowns is a formidable team, and I respect Sundowns. And the 4 that we got, I was happy when the final whistle went on, because it was going to be 6 or 7. And I was like, please, can you just finish the game?
Okay, for time's sake. Sorry, Pravusi, for time's sake. I need to bring in Usija. CJ, 4-0, CJ, how are you feeling about the game now that you've had some time to sit with it? Oh, God. Let's see.
Alala.
Hey. See, the show stopped, but the show was stopped, but not 4-0. What happened?
Listen. I think Nabi must thank the Lucky Stars for the poor officiating. Kaizer Chiefs fans were more angry at the officials than him. He must just thank his Lucky Stars. Other than that, I think Mangoba, I don't know why people are downplaying. Mangoba is the brains behind that Sundowns team, even when Pitso was there. I think if we can't take that away from him, that man is a genius. And I think it was clear in this game that he really is the genius behind the brilliance. I think this is the first time where, besides the free bias calls by the referee, which turned the ball over to Sundowns, which led, I think, to 3 of their goals, and I think this is the first time where I saw the Chiefs really was not going to win this match, even if they were entering that box, they were not looking as threatening as they were supposed to be. I think the boys were a little bit too nervous. I think they I don't know where their hearts were. I don't think their hearts and minds were in the right place. Besides, I was just irritated by, to watch an official swearing at a player, it just, to me, that is not on. I was just taken off by that. I knew that if you are emotionally invested as an official in a match, then I don't see why. We can't send officials away, give them a red card. If you talk back to an official as a player, they will give you a red card and you leave. But we cannot give a red card to an official who is swearing at a player. That's for me, it was where I was like, this is not it. I mean, to watch Marciano have to come down in official because he's swearing at a Chiefs player, for me, it was not on. It was really, really not a good sight for me to see. Other than that, I think the game was one-sided. I think Sundowns deserved to play and win. I think they deserve. I think this is one match where Chiefs lost, and I think I agree, Sundowns really deserved to win this one.
I want to ask you, Sinje, are we being lenient? And it's not to say that Nabi must go or anything, but are we doing that thing we do sometimes with the European coaches where we go, man, they're building, man. Yes, Ramovic has been building. Pablo Franco Martino was doing very badly and he was building. Are we doing that maybe, and maybe we should start being more critical? I don't know.
I think so. If we can say to Arthur Zwane he must vacate the post with 2 semi-finals and a top 8 position, then I'm not going to accept anything less than that.
Yeah.
Then I'm not going to accept anything. Same situation, new players. 60% of his backline never played together. 60% of his central players never played together. 60% of his front three never played together. And he made it to 2 semi-finals, robbed in one of them, made it to the top 8, and he was shown the door at the end. So I think Nabi and Zwane are receiving. And Nabi has I expect better from him because he brought in his own technical team. Where Arthur Zwane worked with the technical team that was there already. So if you're going to spend millions and millions of rands in that, for me, I'm expecting better results than Arthur Zwane, who was working with freelancers that were at Kaizer Chiefs. If you're going to bring your own technical team, I'm expecting better. I'm not saying, listen, and I watched, I think, here's another thing, Mr. Oti, I think we also must take into consideration. When I watched the pre-match interviews, where I knew, I don't think we as fans are in the same level of expectations with the coach. After I watched the pre-match interviews, when I heard Nabi saying, this is not the time for us to be expecting silverware, then I asked myself, what are we going to do against Sundowns? No wonder most these things happening. You come in to say, please fans, don't expect silverware from me. I am still building.
Here's the question. Would he say that at Raja?
Yeah.
Did he say that at AS FAR Rabat or at Raja? I don't know. Would he say that?
I've got no idea what he was saying there, but I know what he said here. Here he said on national television, fans, please, don't put pressure, don't put expectations. We are not the Chiefs this is not the Chiefs for you to expect silverware from. That is what he said. Now I'm asking myself, when I listened to that interview, I was not going to even bother watching that match because he is not here to win. They did not go to Sundowns to win the match. He was there to make sure that fans are not as angry as they would be. maybe that was a coach trying to calm the fans down, not to be ballistic and expect to win against Sundowns. I've got no idea. I'm still asking myself, why did Nabi say that?
For time's sake, Sinje, let me bring in Mlindo. Mlindo, welcome to the show. How are you?
Alala.
Let me see if Mlindo is here. Mlindo. Mildo, sorry. Who's like Mildo, hey. Sorry.
Yeah.
Mildo.
You always get my name wrong.
Sorry, Mildo, man. Hey, amehlo. Sometimes in share, ngabona bo L, abavelayo nje out of nowhere. Anyway. Mildo, tell me. Neil, how did you feel about the game?
In a way, I was kind of expecting it. I'm sorry to say this, but I think he starting 11 Sundowns said it all, which we are going there for a win. And currently, Chiefs players cannot match Sundowns pound for pound. And yes, you do have good players in Chiefs squad. And you made a good signing with Sereno because he's a good quality player. You do have players, and the unfortunate part currently is that in the last 2 to 3 seasons, the changing of coaches in Chiefs camp, it was like they get new to this system. The next thing, this system changes, the other coach is gone. You understand? So Nabi came. There's a bit of a difference since you have Nabi, and we've seen in the game where you've won 3-0, 4-0 against Supersport, and when you've won 3-0 against Amazulu in your first game, but in the other games that you've lost, I think Chiefs are playing a bit different, and we can't expect as much. But yes, it's just like Chiefs fans know they became a bit impatient and had a lot of expectations because Unabi came in as a high-profile coach. Now okay, we are bringing Unabi to deliver us from taking us to promised land, which was not the case. But then I don't know, since UCJ went out and saying, I've heard this before. Unabi said, don't expect a lot from Chiefs or any cups because now Chiefs, we are building. You can't say that. I don't know. Maybe he was being cautious, but you have to be cautious because currently you have to use what you have. But at some point, in my personal perspective, I feel bringing your own technical team, possibly in the management could be there to control who to play and what not to play and so forth, because club owners are capable of doing that, but who to play, who not to play, you understand? So yes, maybe we cannot expect much from Chiefs, but there are points whereby Amayama fans and soccer fans said, okay, the stopping and playing, the stopping and the breaks and so forth, like they take a lot of break, and when they come back from the break, you have to start from scratch and get them to fitness again, get them to match fitness, and then you take them to a big game like Sundowns. Obviously, that game is going to be tough because obviously Sundowns came with that level that we know that rulani used to play. You have your Motaung, your Mokwena, Ribeiro, Shalulile, then you have Reina, who's a goal poacher. You have your captain at the back, Ronald, who's always been nominated. What's that award that he was been nominated for?
Yasin, yeah.
Then you see those players. Yes. Yeah, so having those players, having Sundowns, having that starting 11, then it was like, that was Rulani, even though it felt like Rulani was still there of those starting 11. But then Chiefs, I don't know, but hey, now they're still far from getting it right.
But I want to ask you, Mindlo.
Yeah, they're still far from getting it right.
I think when we're speaking about Chiefs right now and Nabi, I think there's three sides. There's people who expected a win from Sundowns, which I don't believe a win would have came. I said 2-1. There's people who expected a blowout, but is it wrong for there to be an expectation that no, Luzane we Sundowns, but don't get embarrassed if that is the word. Like maybe put away your ego for today, then if it is like that, and play your 5 defenders so that we can leave with a result that is 1-0 or 1-1 or whatever. Is that too much of an expectation?
It was, but then you had to right. If ever we had like who's this guy, Utupres, ne? Having Utupres, what the Utupres strength is to run the defense or to his pace. That is his own weapon. And if Chiefs knew how to use him with his pace and his strength, possibly that was going to be different. But now you have players who were like dropping too deep and allowing Sundowns to come back come at them. Then you were not gonna win like that. Yes, Chiefs fans were expecting. Hence, I said Unabi came in a high profile, but that's why Chiefs like had high. Expectations are high, and having those expectations. Coming to EC game in Sundowns, you can not expect Unabi to Sundowns. That is that's different. And you don't have that depth in your squad. Yes, you do have players, but you don't have that depth in your squad. Because you may have your best, you may think you have your best 11, but look at your bench.
For time,
because if you don't have that bench,
for time, Mindlo, sorry, Mindlo, man.
Otherwise,
yeah. For time, Mindlo.
Okay, I'm here.
Let me go to Ringa. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm alright, and how are you, Oti?
Man, it's always good to have you. Ringa Gitiski. Tell me, 4-0. Mamelodi Sundowns, Kaizer Chiefs. How do you feel about the game?
Yeah, man, a lot of mixed emotions, good and bad, or positives and negatives, man. But I'll just, for time as well, I'll give you some examples.
No, I'll give you your 5 minutes. Don't worry. Don't worry.
No. So yeah, man, it's quite I was at the stadium. It was not good to witness what we witnessed there. I must say we were embarrassed. I'll tell you why I think we're embarrassed. We're not at the level to compete pound for pound with Sundowns at this moment, right? What you're saying in terms of our ego. Listen, first 20 minutes, just make sure that they don't embarrass you, they don't break you up, they don't, you know what I mean? Just make sure defensively we are sound. You know what I mean? We don't need to play fancy. We don't need whatever chance we get. We have speedy wingers. Get that ball into them. But for that first 20 minutes, just make sure with your defensive, get into the game. Because as soon as Sundowns, as I see it now, is a team that plays on moments, right? As soon as they can see, we can break you up. That's why when you make the example in a Polokwane was not going to let them break them down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because as soon as they break you down, they smell blood, they go for it.
Yeah.
They don't smell blood and then maybe reserve. That's not how Sundowns play, right? One of the guys was speaking about the fact that those are international players. That's true. You know what I mean? And you need to give them the respect that they deserve, that they've earned. You know what I mean? You need to give them that respect, which again means in that first 20 minutes, you can be as defensive as you want, get Forsler to come back, get to Cross to come back, get our two center backs to be very, very, you know what I mean, compact and make sure we don't get those balls the Sundowns, because we want to play, we lose the ball. If you see how many sort of long balls Sundowns was playing behind us and turning our defenders so that we go back and defend facing our own goals. That's how they played. They allowed us to think we can compete with them, come up the line, and then they just put that ball behind us. They have speed wingers. They've those speedy players, but they also have players who don't panic. As soon as they control that ball, look up, put a cross, look up, put a pass, and that's how we go. The first couple of goals, let's be honest, was our own mistakes. Again, it's that thing of saying Guti. I'm not saying Gutama players that should not play with Ilokuzana, should not have confidence on the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, but confidence doesn't mean arrogance. You need to know who you're playing against. You need to know, if I'm gonna miss my first touch, who's the player that's coming to win that ball? And if that player is a mokwena, who's the next player that is gonna pass that ball to? Now, if I lose this ball, what are the chances of Sundowns sort of pouncing and breaking us down? Because I'm losing it, it's a very crucial part of the field, and my defenders are outstretched, or my defenders are already thinking of attacking. I lose that ball. Who's the next two passes at Sundowns? You get what I'm trying to say? That means as soon as I lose that ball, I've made a blunder. You know what I mean? So what do I need to do? Protect that ball, move that ball quickly.
But can I ask you, before you move on from there, my question then becomes, these are problems that we've seen for, I don't know how many games now, it's probably 6 or 7 games that we've seen the same issues. Are we not letting the team go by saying that, they couldn't have had a plan for today? Because I think my issue with the game on Saturday was not that Sundowns exposed us. My issue is that even I knew what was going to happen. If you watched my preview, I said, this is how Sundowns is going to score the goals. This is where they're going to attack. So if I can see it, you can see it. Mangoba even broke it down in the game to say that I was very disappointed because we've already done our analysis. Why can't we expect at least that from Chiefs? To say, hi guys, Nani, don't go in with your eyes closed,
Yes. Yes, I think you know when we talk about this phase of building and all of that, right? We are not realistic. You get what I mean? You can build something too quickly, but it's not stable. You get what I mean? You can go in there and build it way too quickly because you are rushing for results, or you're rushing to please, or you're rushing to keep your job, and whatever reasons you're doing that, right? And in doing that, that thing is not going to be stable. You understand what I'm trying to say? Listen, for us to say we are building, we need to make sure that we build phase by phase. You get what I mean? Defensively, are we sound? Attacking, are we sound? Controlling and playing the ball from the back, are we sound enough to do that? Do we have the players to do that? Do we have the mentality to do that? Because to do that comes with the arrogance to say we'll play this ball out and you'll not take it from us. You understand what I'm saying? So I think what is happening is that as Unabi is building, this is my view, he's wanting to do something very quickly, in a sense that says, I'm going to build my team regardless of how other teams are playing, or regardless of how other teams are going to attack us, which doesn't make, which won't help you in this league. You can build your team. We understand we're going to give you that opportunity, but as you build your team, you need to understand what opposition you're playing against. You can't say, I'm building my team regardless of whoever I'm playing. I am not for that sort of strategy. I wanted to make this example for you.
Very quickly. Yeah.
No. So if we compare Chiefs, one of the positives is that I am more comfortable with the performance that we're giving, or we gave in this game, or that we did not we did not sort of spege pants, as we call it, compared to that 5-0 they gave us last season. You get what I mean? And Chiefs fans need to understand, the only coach that I remember at recent times who came in first season and won the league was Baxter. And Baxter had all the players that were experienced at the time. He had league winners coming into Kaizer Chiefs at the time. Abu Bonke, who were there, I can't name all of them, but those were league winners from their previous teams. And when they came in, he solidified that team. Remember, he also lost 4 to Sundowns, but he was able to rebuild and move forward. So players are also important in this building.
For time. Guys, we're going to move into the members show part of this. So I'm giving my members some time to also come in. You're going to be listening to audio that's coming from WhatsApp. So this is the WhatsApp group that we have, a call that has been made. These are the members. I asked them to stay off so that they can jump in now. This is all I want to say, right? I think sometimes as fans, we are so extreme. We're extreme in the sense that it's either, we want to win everything, or we are losing everything. I'm asking for a middle ground. You take Coach Mangoba. Coach Mangoba played a very distinct football at the beginning of the season. 2 or 3 games, he saw good. Changed, tweaked, done some things, brought in players, did this. I know there were also injuries. And that made sure that at least you can be solid in some games. I'm not asking Chiefs to beat Sundowns. But I'm also not saying I'm not going to be okay with Chiefs going out there and chasing shadows for the whole game. Knowing that Marumo Gallants, even if they lost the 3-0, the 3 or 4, they played better in the last 40 minutes. I even said in my preview, if you want to beat Sundowns, play Sundowns, you have to survive until the last 30 minutes. It's usually Laba Latakon. We watched the Royal AM almost come back and make it 2-2 in the game that they played versus Sundowns. We watched Polokwane City beat Mamelodi Sundowns. We watched Kaizer Chiefs. Fine, it was different. It was earlier, right? Almost beat the Sundowns. Now, my thing now becomes, when I'm looking at Kaizer Chiefs, I'm saying, you don't have the defense. You don't have the midfielders. You don't have the strikers. You don't have this. You don't have this. Kupa plan then. If it means that for dignity's sake, you're coming into that Sundowns game and you're parking the bus, because you've studied the Rainers and you've seen that in the last couple of games, he hasn't played world-class defenses. He's played guys that were sitting and saying, you know what, guys, we're not going to go too far. We're not going to allow you space. Can we have a plan? And that's where I think my criticism of Nabi is starting to come in, where as somebody who's analyzed the games and watched the games, I'm seeing patterns now. And what scares me is Mangoba sees the patterns. Gavin Hunt saw the patterns. We lost the 2 games. We keep taking it. They keep taking advantage of us from specific places, not just Sundowns. And now, if we are 5 games in, and I can tell you the pattern, and I can tell you exactly with the Chiefs, you do 1, you do 2, you do 3, you've beaten them. Other coaches are definitely going to do that. And now I look at Nabi as somebody we're bringing in because he's world class. He's all of those things. Again, not asking him to be taken out, but he's world class. He's all those things. Surely, you 2-0 versus Sundowns. You know what? Zwane, I'm taking you out. I'm putting in Simango. We're gonna go back 5. Because this could get messy. Yo, bayenzani. You know what? Let's then put away. And the reason I'm saying this is that I said this about Steve Compella, for example, where I said, you're trying to play out from the back. You're trying to teach your team. But you've now lost 3 games in a row where you've been hurt because you've been trying to play out from the back. Maybe try it in the beginning. You see that something's not working. What's plan cover? You get what I mean? What's plan cover? You know what? 4-0 looks bad, or our players are not in the thing. Let's plan cover, even if it's just to slow down the game. Slow down the game, relax on. They're playing at a high pace, they've been chasing shadows. Relax on. Slow it down, defend. Catch your breath, hit. But anyway, let me not take members' time. Members, welcome guys. How are you guys doing?
No, I
get the WhatsApp message. WhatsApp message. But it's fine. Of course, better. Man. Mara, we put WhatsApp. But anyway, I hope you're good. Hey, I hope you're good, Kumo. I hope you're good. Guys, 4-0, Chiefs Sundowns. How do we feel about this game? And you know, this is members format. It is open. Feel free to jump in.
How? Kulutu. Libutikamo. Kirikia request ka kwa libutikamo. Lumela.
Hey, man.
I am all over.
Let me bring in Kubo because Kubo had started to answer. Let me bring in Kubo and Kubo.
He might die, Mr. Oti, so let's give him the platform.
And I suspect Kiba to Kutuwang at Hikiling.
Yeah, but
Bamputisa na Bokemazulu. Kiriki 4 minutes past 8. Barrier Utini Kiriki 4 minutes past 8. Barrier Otakisanga ticket no sorry booty police. Ke 4 minutes past 8 for November 2024. Yo Otika singane da. Ke bampetha ka di brainwood ke daka di omega barolo musuthu wa se mamelodi se pitori ke re khante nna ke irileng my bras a hane ka tshwenya mara this time ke irileng nna pila ke ntho mmakeditseng khante 4 ireng khante
Kumo
ai no more mara back to the game brawa ka ne ne ke bone master class shem ke bone master class wa Sundowns ke Sundowns to end ntse re rata. So, arguably, last season, when we had the Shepherd, who was a former coach at Pirate, the defense was well. But attacking wise, his prowess Nessie as intense as Mangoba. Granted, let us Selaganyo go now in shaky grounds again, Pozagere, Mangoba Marait in Toyeta. Magarina, Sekari, Beiro, like the presence here, absence here, ya Olea, Tembas one. RSA feel as much because of the quality Erebonang. Bona no, like I can remember we had this thing back MMR. Now Tashik Lena or injured, but still we still scoring multiple goals. And to score to a packed FMB crowd, I get now bara ara try like the full stand. I get but anyway, to score go back at their Chiefs was something courage, even those goals, and even though a penalty, but the movement to no one structure or this was trained. This is a well-trained team. I want to fella. I rely on individual talents like some other teams. I get, but I think colors think black and white. But yeah, I want to know these guys wanna play for the team. And let's man to go back to scoring where you see, this guy, man, no, he's chasing records. Get timing, so in terms of the game, I want to let you. I get a lot of people have broken down
they play Sundowns with Chiefs or like the of your Chiefs. So I don't wanna go in the frame of being repetitive or using or being tautology. So all I'm gonna say is that I'm happy with performance, and from the things that I've seen, I think anyone can come go this side, especially the rotation, and we're still gonna maintain the caliber and we're still gonna maintain the scoring prowess going forward. So my guy, if only this was the league game, it was gonna be sweeter.
Okay. Guys, who wants to jump in? Agent, I think you had unmuted there.
Yeah, no, I'm good, man. How are you?
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. Hey.
Yeah, no. I think sometimes members depart and leave us without instructions, eh? And it's so sad, because at least he must leave us with instructions of how we should deal with certain members. Because it's not like you don't see them. You see them, eh? In that beautiful suits, eh? Some are even celebrating more than us, eh? You see them, eh? This Pakisha. So at home, we say, people who dance when the food is ready, but they're not going to be there when the food is being cooked and firewood is being collected. But let me deal with the people decisively, because I think we need to get rid of this mentality. First things first, Motaung and Mokwena. We played them against Polokwane City, first game. We struggled. We played against Stellenbosch, both of them. We struggled. We lost both games. Now the coach changes and we win. So Motaung and Mokwena have God given the right to play all the games, even if they're not performing. The team comes in, they perform. So who should be on the bench at Sundowns? Who deserves to be on the bench on Sundowns? And some are saying the national team, Mokwena is a national team player. Obas is a national team player. So that excuse doesn't fly. And just because the national team player doesn't mean you shouldn't be benched. If you're performing a national team, good, sharp, cool. But that's none of our business. Right? So, and again, sometimes you'll never get credit, especially from people who don't want to acknowledge you. Motaung, 88 games in his life. 88 games. I don't want to go to Highlands Park, but 88 games, 4 goal involvements. I think it's 3 goals and 1 assist. The past 7 games, 3 goal involvements. Who is it down to? Is it down to Motaung or is it down to the coach? Who should we be crediting? Because he played 88 games before and he only got 4 goal involvements. And 2 of those were under the co-coaching thing. So now he comes in, the co-coach says, nope, you're not guaranteed, because I think he was just happy to be doing those slight tigers and not impacting the game forward. He didn't want to improve that side. Bogana comes in, he scores 7 goals or assists 7 goals, and he's like, yo, I need to up my game. And he comes in and he ups his game. Who should get credit for that? But it's fine. Now, Mokwena Umangloba says, I don't want a seat which moves out a lot. Even at Bafana, Mokwena plays in a double pivot with, what is this guy from Portugal who plays in Portugal? With Yaya. Yeah, because Coach Bruce sees that Mokwena moves a lot, and what does he do? He plays him with Obas and he shines. And if Mangloba really hated Mokwena, he would have played him on Tuesday so that he gets a yellow card and misses the game. And again, another thing is this, right? Maybe I'm being cynical, and rightly so, and I have to be cynical. Who cares? Maybe we killed Rulani, we as Sundowns, because of the system that we're playing. Remember, under the Kimilon, Pushalule was doing the Reina's job. He wanted to go outside, then cut in. But that he doesn't have that skill set. Hence, in the 2 seasons that he played under coach Rulani, he only scored 21 goals. But under the co-coaching, he scored 23 goals just that one season. So sometimes the system does not fit the players. So I think we have to respect Coach Mangoba and deserves respect. And lastly, another point of respect is this: we are here. We were here and we told them that Uzwani and Ribeiro doesn't play well together, right? And we won against playing them together against Chiefs, and he played them, and it didn't go well. Now, he was insistent on benching Zwane and playing Ribeiro in the 10. Now, Zwane is not there, and he's not been missed. How many times can you say that about Sundowns when Zwane is present? But who is getting credit? No one is giving credit to Mangoba, right? And lastly, Mangoba respects the game. I keep saying this. Chiefs last game, not before this game, are attacking us. So if Chiefs are attacking us, why do you want to insist on attacking them too? You have the goals different. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. It could have not worked, but it worked. Against Wydad, we are leading. Why are you going forward? We went forward, concede. To win AFL, that some people claim credit for, it had to take a player and a player called Zwane says, "Coach, take me out, let's defend this thing." Because our coach wouldn't think that you have to respect the game. Now, coach who respects the game is able to say, "Let's defend, it's time for to defend." And he takes out Zwane without being told by Zwane. So I think we're being fair on Coach Mangoba. Coach Mangoba must be respected. Thank you.
I think I want to. There's a conversation I want to have. So I'm gonna ask you to still give me your thoughts, but the conversation I want to have is: are we unfair with the expectations on coaches? And unfair with sometimes people get leeway or more rope, and sometimes people don't. And how we give that, are we unfair a little bit? I don't know who wants to jump in. Zalama, I think Unzalama had his mic unmuted, then we'll go to P.
Let's see. Thank you. How's it going, everyone?
Man, we're good, Papa.
Me, I'm good. Me, I'm good. So, first thing, Nisha, thank you to Sundowns for respecting Kaizer Chiefs and bringing the game. Thank you and kudos to you. Too much disappointed on our coach. So, OT, to your question, I think fans will always be unreasonable, man. We want to win. We don't want excuses, And Nabi is trying to make excuses even before the game and before everything happens, So you can't expect fans to reason with you because we don't care how you do it. We just want the cup. As long as you win, we are happy. Because we were not 100%, but we're happy with the wins. So even if you play top-notch football, sometimes we'll be happy for 2-3 games with like this we can see. But if you lose the fourth one, we will start to question. And even if you're a good coach like Nabi, it won't end well for him. So you can't reason. You can't expect fans to reason. And sometimes we, like we had Sundowns game, they were angry at the referee and all of that. I do get it, but as players, irresponsible. Ayizange ibe grandy because into yokuqala I'm a professional. How do you uthi just because agitation yama-fan, So we lost the game because of such things. But it's ngi-analyze kahle. I think in our previous games, Maslala, we scored goals with less than 5 passes. Sipayphasa i-middle field because siyazi ukuthi leyo middle field ayikho. But come to Sundowns, manje sesifuna ukushaya iy'thende and siluze ibhola in wrong positions and siyazi ukuthi Sundowns iyapress idlalela ublock. Bathatha ibhola fast, penalty, mosheka yonke into. So I didn't understand ukuthi why angakontinuwanga, abasingakontinuwanga ahlale lento mesidlala. Bypass the middle field, play switch ibhola, switch ibhola lifike kuzabholuduka, or uFrosla akhuphuke nalo azama ukuliphrosa or something. Bypass the middle field, besingadlala le game mhlawumbe iphele ngo-0-0 siyena kuma-penalty or something. But le nto mesifuna ukuyidlala, I keep on saying sidlala ibhola ngama-player angasuthi ibhola esifuna ukuyidlala. Phela uma sidlala nga-6 defenders mhlawumbe bayi-4 emuva bayi-2 ayikho i-midfielder because phethu uzwane uphese mhlawumbe sometimes umat no block defensive. So ibhola azodlalwa wabani ngeke sibe nama-midfielder ayi-2 defender. We need one guy okwazi nokubhulisha ama-player njengoKatsani. I know we hated uKatsani nani, didn't score what kodwa we need someone ozobhulisha ama-player njengoKatsani. Abaqaphi sometimes bazi ukuthi la kuyashisa la kumele sizame ukungena ngama-side or something. We must give an opponent something to think about ukuthi hayi asenze kanje yabo. Kodwa kule game asiyibona ngale nto azingenela nje. Sometimes umuntu uyabheka iplayer liyagijima utshela inaso ukuthi inaso ubhaka wena uyamkhomba yabo. Ngiyi-understand into midlalo lapha uthi
okay
le mentality ka-coach icala ukuvela manje ukuthi hayi ngathi akabathembi labafana bakhe. Ingiphula inhliziyo le nto because mina ngimthembile kodwa hayi ithi sibheke ukuya phambili.
Mina ngifuna ukwazi ithi ngibuza Tiyo. Mina, it sounds like every time when we go play Sundowns, we must expect a 4-0. And Mina, I'm not there. And I'm not saying we must win, Mara. I clearly plan, man. Or party pass, like do something, man.
Let me greet you. Let me greet the guys. I wanna we have TikTok. Mina nibona ngi-message yakho. Sorry, the group. It's just funny, but I'm really sorry. First and foremost, let's congratulate you, Manova. Guys, you know, it's so painful that we have to congratulate Manova. We have to see the good things that Manova is doing, that our supporters Sundowns are not seeing, which is good as well, because it works best for us, our opponents. But secondly, I think it was good that we lost, OT. I didn't feel like this Saturday night, after watching the game yesterday, I'm glad that we lost. I'm so happy that we lost this game because now it changes our perspective. And I believe if we are sober supporters like you are, Saturday explaining how to tabula agent, but now I'm a man of responsibility. I take responsibility. I was wrong. What I said, Sundowns deserves to win. Every goal they scored, 100%. Chiefs is not ready. I believe that it's good for Nabi that we lost. It's good for the players that we lost. It's only sober supporters that will go back and remember, Gucci, Nabi is his first season. These players that are in Chiefs, they have not played for more than 20 games. The goalkeeper is new at Chiefs, even though he's doing mistakes there and there. Uzwane is still much development players. We're playing with youngsters, Gucci. But what I love more than anything is the fact that we have a coach that is very smart. Coach is very smart. For him to go into the media and not talk about ref or in just say we lost and I apologize and then Mangoba, well done. OT, we need to be honest. Sundowns did their homework, guys. Don't. That's why I feel like we are being unfair on technical team in Sundowns. Not that the Chiefs didn't do their homework. The Chiefs did their homework, but Sundowns did their homework even better because bringing in Mudau, bringing in Mudiba, OT, making sure for the first 10 minutes, Duba is out of the game, Sereno is out of the game. The only players up front that were sober, Liwan, the Pelagimum, Ranga was already out as well. Make sure Guti at the back, you stabilize them as best as you can. Let Ribeiro run it, Miguel. Make Ribeiro make Miguel make mistakes. And Mokwena making that midfield look like coaching at Taiwan. Hence, that's why I said I wish we had 2 plombs in that game because you needed a player that can defend and mark. You needed a player that has the mind of understanding which we are playing not with amateurs. We're not playing with a crippling team. This is a team. Hey, I want to make my Pirates, OT, but anyways, I think OT, there is something very crucial. Sundowns in Zile. They brought their A team, OT. Like, guys, let's not play around. Chiefs is the best team. Chiefs is a big team. Sundowns is the best team, OT. On paper, on the field, even when Pirates plays against them, by Saba, immediately when you play all those players that were playing, OT, Like, it's a scary field, you understand? And let's not forget the absence of Uzwane. Had he been there, it would have been maybe a different ball game. But you look at how they structured their attack, counter press, playing highlight, making sure Gucci Chiefs does not play from the back. And the beautiful thing that they did was every time they had the ball, they were trying to force us to make errors. That's why Cross was out of the game. And then you look at Frosla. They studied that Chiefs wants to start play from Frosla. That's why they pushed him so hard. That's why Reynolds was on to him every now and then. Hence, we made mistakes. Hence, Uzwane in the middle thought no, this is the league. This is Sundowns, the first team. That's why they were pressing him. And that boy is the reason why Sereno didn't play. I forgot his name, man. The 50 million. Who's that young boy, man? I forgot his name, man.
Allende. I thought you said Allende.
I would say Allende was busy kicking him, busy looking at him with an eye for Luton Hamvilla. I'm going to the Chiefs. And I would see Chiefs cannot play without Sereno. Sundowns realized that, took Sereno out, and we lost the game. And for me, it's a good thing that we lost. Sundowns was the best team. Back, forward, Roman Williams, guys. Guys, we need to give that guy. I want to OT. I'm now at that point where I'm saying he's the best ever, Gumzans. Not because of his defensive duties or him being a goalkeeper, the awareness, OT, the reading of the game, the supporting the team from the back. OT, I think for me, Sundowns was just the best team in the game.
Clearly, Sundowns did its homework. But then, is it too much to ask for Chiefs to do homework? Because for me, Supersport lost 4-0 to us, and then the second game, they had a plan. Manje, Tina, asina plan, must we accept being, I don't want to say outplayed is one thing, Mara, to be almost embarrassed like that. Should we accept it, or should we look at our coach and say, Maranani, yenzani plan, or yenzani homework, or do something, or chinchani, or defendani? You get what I mean? Like, you can tell the teams have done their work. Tina, are we really going to accept that maybe every time we play against a better team, Usiria Valega, guys, it's done. Our defense gets taken advantage of. Guys, hey, it's fine. I don't like that.
OT, let's be honest. This is the best team in Sundowns, guys. Let's not lie to ourselves, OT. You cannot expect let's be honest. The first team that we played, the Sundowns, they were crippling. They were crippled, but the team that we played is well assembled, OT. Is well structured, are players who know their position and who are best at their positions. I know OT when you count up when you
them.
No, but they were not like this. It was not the same team. OT. It was not the same team.
I think my point is that Supersport is shy guy. Supersport is shy guy with agna problem, agna next. Babonile na bokuthi hayi Valusirino attack them on the wings. So silungisa nini leyo ndaba? Mina, that's what I'm asking now.
But listen, OT. Yabona, if Pirates right now, if Pirates was to play the same Sundowns, I promise you they would be defending. Low block. That's why Chiefs were not trying to do the Chiefs were trying to play sort of the offside trap. That does not work.
When I want to
were trying to never low block the Sundowns, because I'm a bit slow at the back. That's why you have to press them up high, OT. Another thing that is very crucial is Sundowns knows that defenders the Chiefs are slow and they do not time. They don't communicate. There's no communication at the back. Even our goalkeeper does not communicate. Hence, I'm saying we tried what we did last time. It didn't work, OT. Let's just accept that Sundowns were better prepared, they were better planned, and they did their job very well. And let's accept the defeat and say we tried, it didn't work.
Let me bring in Balube Kutso. Maybe Balube Kutso and Kutso. I'm not saying that Sundowns didn't do their work.
I'm giving him examples. Polokwane City beat the best team, as you are saying. Come up with a plan. Come up with a plan. If you acknowledge that they're the best team, then approach the game like you're approaching the best team. Don't approach the game like you're approaching an NFT team here. With the Blom was there. Blom started the game. Ungati if Blom was there. Blom started the game. He's not good enough. That's why Hugo Pros dropped him. Anyway, Mr. Oti, how are you, Mr. Oti?
I'm okay, Malume Kutz. I'm okay.
On the Kana King TikTok account there, I came in Petrilava when Sinja was talking about the referee swearing back at the player, not swearing but swearing back and promising the player good hiding. Telling you, we must remember at all times that we are African. We cannot have 19-year-olds thinking it's okay to swear at our fathers like that continuously. He must remember his place. He's a young boy. I see people sometimes forget their place when they're on the football field. They will say, we cannot encourage Utuba swearing every day. Abo baba babantu. Utuba thukelo baba the whole day. Angazi ngimbona umntana oseka nje, umntana ongcolile. That boy is dead, he's filthy. Thuka bobaba. Thuka bobaba live on TV. No, that is very un-African.
Yeah.
You should have got Chiefs benefited over the weekend in that 4-0 drubbing. Duba should have gotten a red card first half. It limited the scoring Sundowns. It limited the goals. It has also impacted Coach Mangoba's job. Coach Mangoba could have won that game 6-7-0 and it would have been good on his CV. Chiefs benefited. Duba should have walked alongside Abo Frosler. Swearing at the referee is a sending off. So Chiefs, before you point fingers, remember that you benefited. You should have played that game with 8 players minimum. Because Nsile.
Agreed.
Oti, you can ask me other questions.
No, I wanted to ask you.
People think it's okay for a 19-year-old to swear. I don't know. How old is that referee, Mr. Oti?
No, I don't know.
And only when we have a replay, we find out which he actually pushed to mokwena. So why are you swearing at someone when it's your fault? So what? So are you after benefiting from not being sent off? Are you now demanding to benefit that they don't blow fouls against you to a point where you start swearing at referees?
Was it a correct call though?
It was he pushed mokwena. Why are you
push doesn't. It was a soft one. It wasn't kick on the legs.
Keep your hands to yourself. Anyway, I understand.
But what?
We ask you man, eh? Do you insult your father also?
Where do you sit with this conversation about expectations? Because I understand that Nabi's new and there's other things. And, you know, there's some people that want a trophy. Other people are saying that, hey, I get winner next. Other people are in the middle. Where do you stand with these expectations? And do you think that maybe we shift goalposts at times?
Mr. OT, that 4-0 drubbing that Chiefs received, the 4-0 hiding, the whipping, the beating, the dismantling that they received on Saturday was a landmark in their history. It extended the record to 11 years without a trophy. Had they won the game, they would have at least remained with the hope that it will only be 10 years. Sundowns made sure that it goes to 11 years without a trophy. So whenever you assess Coach Nabi, you assess with the perspective of saying the team is thirsty, it's a drought. What do you do? Imagine, Mr. Oti, there's a disaster like South Africa, and we have a president, and we say give him time, let the people perish while we wait for the president to come up with strategies. Let's give him a year or two. In the interim, people can die. No. No. They are in charge of the big team. They are not in charge of Polokwane City. They are not in charge of the strokes are different, Mr. Oti. When you are in charge of Kana King, Marumbo Kalans, we celebrate you for being number 9. Kana King, Magesi, they beat Pirates, they drew with Chiefs. We celebrate them for that. But when you're in charge of a big institution like Kaizer Chiefs, Mamelodi Sundowns, Orlando Pirates, it's different. We celebrate for winning. Coach Mangoba is being persecuted week in, week out.
Game basis.
week in, week out, he's being persecuted. He's suffering from persecution from all angles, even from fans who are angry with their Betway tickets. You know, sometimes that Polokwane City game, I think it wasn't Sundowns fans who were angry only. It was those ones who said Sundowns over 2.5. And when they lost, they went for Coach Mangoma because what he represents is an institution that puts bread on the table for people over 2.5. And when it doesn't win, it affects people's bread. Same goes for Coach Nabi. The referee suffered because people say Coach Nabi ukensebana. That guy, I saw a guy watches your Pirates. I can go grounding referee. You can see the effects are over 2.5. How can you be wearing a Pirates jersey over to Shapa referee or Europa Chiefs? Well, and it turns out to high ropey. It shows that there's Betway involved. So when you're coaching a big team, people look at if you look at the date, Mr. OT, of the fixture, it's payday.
Yeah.
Someone took his entire pay and said, I can double it. Double or nothing. Okay, nearly 20,000. What's it? Double or nothing? What about with my 40,000? When Rivero went down, what's it's a soft penalty. I heard it, one of the Chiefs guys said, vilakazi. Why are you coming? So, Mr. OT, these teams represent more than just a team. When we assess these teams, we must also look at the status of saying, where is the team? Cheers, Mr. OT. They can try. We can try as well to say, give the coach time. But Mr. OT, it's now 11. We're going into the 11th year. How much time does he need? Does he need to take it to 13 years before he gets his first trophy? We've seen Coach Rivero. Jose Rivero, Carlo Ancelotti, they've put out that myth out the window, including Coach Pitso Mosimane, Mr. OT.
Yeah, yes.
Because he landed Sundowns, stabilized when they were fighting relegation, and the next season immediately won the league, Mr. OT. Some people cannot forget. Coach Nabi came in with high demands. Coach Mangeta is coaching there at Amazon right now.
Okay.
He has been forced to break up with Chiefs, his beloved Kaizer Chiefs, which he chose over Orlando Pirates. And Coach Nabi came in and broke that thing apart. He must deliver.
I wanna go to Umelile. Mtakababa. Mina, I still haven't got any answer ifunayo. Siyabayeka nabantu, or because mina ngibheka comments right now. Losing to Sundowns means ufonilo right.
Siyabayeka ufaka nathi la.
No, ngikhuluma okay, ngikhuluma ngeChiefs. Uthi ama-fans weChiefs ngiyababona la nabanye are saying that this was fine. This result was fine. We can't expect ukuthi kube neplani. We're looking at players. Khuluma zonke lezi zinto. Are we letting abo coach off mina velile, and specifically labo coach ebabuya ngale or not from here? Are we letting them off ngale ndaba yeplan, for example? It's not that kumele sishaye Sundowns, but nani manufika ku Sundowns umfuke ngihlale benchini. I think Malume Kutsu was the one who said umfuke ngihlale benchini. You approach the game a certain way, niyachinja, then bashay in the cups, for example.
Yeah.
So are we expecting too much with we plan at least?
No, ngokubingelele mntakababa ngeyi4 zika November 2024. Ngiyaxolisa nje ukuba nje ukuthula indaba.
The time is 2041.
Yes. Hayi kube ezweni but kumnandi ngihlala ngikutshela ngendalo ngoba indalo mina ngiyabelieve ngoba iyashesha ukungiphendulela. Ngithemba ngisho ngevike edlule kubhala bakethi hayi Chiefs badlala abashoda ngibala abafrost la kodwa kusabantu bebhola ngathuka abovuso ewana wakhona wangithuka lapha yana. but hayi umdala uyilungisile masinya njengakaye ekudeni ngayo le weekend. Ngimzwe namhlanje ulungile makakhuluma, ulungile down to earth. Skuni induku yamlungisa umuntu. No, asubuyele la egame. I think we are letting Unabi get away with it. We are soft kuye. Taking into consideration esashilo usinje ukuthi this guy brought his whole team. Abanye baze bahamba bathola imisebenzi babuyele emakuba akayenze next ngapha but sebasebenzile. But he had the luxury of selecting his staff to coach Kaizer Chiefs, even though maybe he might angatholanga wonke ama-player probably abekawafuna, but in terms of like i-technical team yakhe, he had the luxury as compared to Abu Nzeki nabo Mangethe nalo ofeyile kokugcina lo Johnson. So we are letting him, but angaxolela because sibala amagame angakho league ndlale 5. Yeah, learn bengingayibalanga. You didn't budget for this vele because you knew vele ukuthi hayi lena angeke izilunge, but so far but angaxolelwa kangaka akanikwe isikhathi, but noma anganikwa isikhathi, but I don't believe with this season uzodeliver. But there's no players there, man. There's no players. You cannot expect to achieve something alama player lapha ku Chiefs. Abo Duba, abo no, there's too much. You know, sometimes it goes to introduce those players gradually. Amanye ama-team they do that gradually. Abonkotha bakhona bahlele ebhenchini khane bangena ku Sundowns, ku Pirates, I mean abomabhena kunini bakhona bapromote last year ku Sundowns, but now until now probably bakaqala ukudlala amagame yana to few games, and you could see ukuthi abakajeli enough with the players that they starting ku Sundowns or whether ku Pirates. So even those players they just need time, especially amangade abala wonke labo ku development abo Ban Shabalala, Uzwane, Vilakazi. Those players, man, no, they cannot. And the rest of all, ni replace Upeminyama, ngomunye Upeminyama, ukelele ngathi uchiva squad saku striker saku first division. So he hasn't achieved anything nje ukuthi adlale Chiefs. Same as Upeminyama kuyafana. And Dupree, I don't know if the coach I'm funny or I'm understanding, or it's either the technical team or analyst wabo. They don't analyze their performance. But what did you expect, man? You cannot take kids who badlala in a national team. There's no way, man. That's a national team, man. Masikhuluma ngebafana yethu. Iyo le eshaya abantu Saturday. So asingakhali kakhulu. It was just a preparation for FIFA International Week. So yeah, asingakhali. But kuzolunga. The only thing they justice that must be done nje kumanqoba ukuthi uagent banokhumo, they must give respect to him and recognize him as umanqoba, hayi umanqoba, please bafowethu. Okay.
Ke Motswana man, there's be a difference. I cannot talk language man.
Let me go to Tshwane. Tshwane, I wanted to bring you in almost last on this one. How do you feel about the game? How do you feel about the game, and how do you feel about the performance? And the question that I'm asking, I'm not chasing him away. It's not to chase away, but it's to be critical, because for me, the issues that we saw versus Sundowns are not new. You know, they've been there for a while, but also even just some of the maturity, maybe, if I can put it that way, to say, guys, there's 2-0. They've already hit the post twice. Let's consolidate, you know, or it's 2-0. Let's not make this a bloodbath. Or I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Evening, to your panelists and listeners and viewers of the show. Listen, man, you know, in football, sometimes when it's not your day, it's not your day. You know, and I'm not taking away any credit from how Sundowns played, how they apply themselves.
Yeah.
But it was just not our day, you know. And if you look at our squad composition and our depth, we don't have any.
Yeah.
Let's be frank.
Yeah.
You know. And now you're playing a cup game. Remember, this was not a league game. This was a cup game.
Yeah.
You know, when you go for a cup game, you go for a kill. You know, it's either you go in there to win or you go in there to lose. And unfortunately, we were not the winners on the day. I don't think we were prepared enough to play against Sundowns the way you should play against the Sundowns team. But also, if you look at Sundowns when they played against Polokwane City, we might say great application from Polokwane City on the day, but just maybe it was not their day for Sundowns. Like Nathan's Sundowns on that day, and that's why they were firing blanks and they couldn't put it together, to go for a kill. On Saturday before the game, when I saw that lineup, I said to the guys, now I'm not seeing this game. Because if you look at that star-studded lineup, mamelodi Sundowns, there's probably only Allende and Ribeiro that we've never seen them play for their national team, right? But the rest of those players there, Batla national team, even Shandulile, he's a start. He plays 90 minutes in his national team. So the application and the mental capacity and the big game temperament is there for players at Sundowns, right? Now you move on to the technical team, right? Sundowns have Khoza there, Coach Wendell there, they have Onyango there on the bench, they have Steve Kompela there, they have Mangoba there, right? The only person that they just roped in or brought into that technical team, Khoza, right?
Yeah.
Steve Kompela was there, he left and he came back, right? So they've kept the core of their technical team for over 10 years, right? So there's a good succession plan, and there's a good way of saying these are the KPIs for this year. This is how we look at moving forward. But when Coach Pitso left, they didn't dismantle the technical team.
Yeah.
Rulani leaves, they don't dismantle the technical team. They keep the core of their technical team. On the other side, Rona, for the past 5 years, we've had different technical teams. And now this answers the question of, are we seeing what we're expecting of Nabi, or does he have a chance, or do we give him time, to see exactly what he's trying to do, right? Look, I'm half and half, and I don't want to blame him fully to say that we lost the way we did. I think on his day his plan didn't work, but also the players that we have, they lack something. They lack the psychological resilience and the game management part. In essence, you mentioned that 2-0 down, they've hit the post twice. What do we do? How do we regroup? And there was a water break when fans were on the pitch.
Hey, Serena was shouting at the ref.
Together. Yeah, we were supposed to, instead of shouting at the ref, we're supposed to get together. Let's talk with the gents. It's not going away. How do we play against these people? But Baba repress, this stop-start tactic that the Moroccans use. I've seen Ahly use it.
That Sundowns uses it. Temza was the one.
Yeah, we should have used that tactic, Leron, to say, how do you break the momentum of these guys? All we needed to do was to break the momentum. That's all we needed to do. But instead, we gave Allende free will. We gave Ribeiro free will to do as they please, and knowing that we don't have a defense that's played together for long, and with my coach, Liana, when he sees that, my plans are not working, how do I work it around? The only thing I'm going to crucify Nabi on is his squad selection. He's been using the same 14, 15 players all the games that we've played.
Yeah.
And even his subs are predictable. He subs the same players. He has a pattern. His patterns now, we can see his patterns as a coach, right? Now, he needs to show us now, because I think we have 4 or 5 games left before we close off the season, and these will be home games. And this is where we will see if he's really the guy that we need and the guy that we have been sold two as, you know, because now personally, I'm okay with what happened. I didn't even expect us to win against Sundowns. I just wanted us to play, you know, to show some quality, of which we failed to show, you know, and I'm going to support our team. I'm going to support what they're trying to do. But now here's another thing, that what does the future look like? You know, do we have a strategic plan to say, how are we going to change things around? You know, George, we're going to a very critical transfer window, you know. When you look at January transfer window, you cannot get much quality or the quality that you desire unless you really, really break the bank. I'm going to say that because if you're targeting experienced players, if you're targeting the right quality, right? In January transfer window, teams are looking also at saying, how do we improve? What are the struggles that we've had? You know, where do we need to reinforce? You know, who can we let go? Who can we not let go? You know, and it's going to become difficult for us to pick and choose players that we want, you know. So we're going to go into the market and just take anyone that's available without assessing the right quality, because some teams will be saying, hey, we're flirting with relegation, we cannot let players go. Some teams will be saying, oh, we need to cement our place in the top 8. Some teams will be saying, oh, challenging for the league or top 5, you know. So there's certain players that they cannot let go, you know. So it's going to be very difficult for us. But for me, I'm going to give Nabi 5 games. 5 games to see if he can change the patterns of play, if he can adapt and adjust in the league. Because this league, like the South African league, is the most cruel league you can find in Africa. And you know that you will be beaten. Look at Magesi today. Magesi are playing a semi-final. They just got to that league, but they're playing a semi-final. You know, they beat Paris, held Chiefs to a draw. You know, no one expected that. You know, then he started bad, but you can see there's a glimpse of improvement. He's getting his players believing and playing again. You know, he's in that semi-final. So for Nabi also, I'm not going to make excuses for him to say it's his first season. He's just arrived, quality this, quality that. Magesi, when you look at Magesi, when you look at King Timmy, Marumo Gallant, when you look at all the teams that are in semifinals against Sundowns, they don't have the quality of Kaizer Chiefs. We might have better quality. Yes, it might be youngsters, but when you look at quality, we have better quality and we have a better technical team. So they must show and prove to us that they can do the job. 5 games, you know. If we lose 2 of those 5 games, for me, I know it's Chai. I give up on him. I don't want to lie. Yeah.
Can I ask you something? Can I ask you something, Cheney, before you go? But what does this mean? Nabi going away with Mera, because he always gets 2 weeks between games. Like the number of time he's getting to coach his players is unbelievable. Even now, the next time they play is what?
27.
You know, what are you doing in the training ground? And you know, I can forgive a coach who doesn't have enough time to train. I was like, okay, you don't have enough time, but you get 2-3 weeks every game.
Okay. Let me be quick on that one for the sake of time. Look, I think it's important to play competitive football, right? Because you train to go and play competitive football. You might do everything right, training, but when you play competitive football, that's where you need to. That's where you see where you need to improve, how you need to improve your game, how you need to improve your tactics and stuff like that, you know. So there's been a lot of breaks where, okay, we're starting to gain some momentum, and then there's a FIFA break. We're starting to get some momentum, and then there's this break, you know. So there's too many gaps in between the competitive games, you know. I would like for us to get more competitive games. If you look at Pirates, Sundowns, the teams that are dominating the league and playing good football at the top, they don't have these breaks. You know, they're playing week in, week out, you know, and I think that's something also that we need to play more competitive games so that we can be more competitive. You know, time on the training ground, you're not playing against your opponents, so you're not going to improve. You know, you spend too much time playing against each other, and Jabulo Blomo busy Lamat, and he thinks, now I can play. No, you need to play against different opponents so that you can either improve your game, and then we can see, okay, this is where I lack, this is where I need to improve. But if you're not playing regularly, there's no momentum in how you're playing and how you're building up. You know, there's no what you call progression. Also, consistency breaks. Also, I think that's my take on it.
No, mine is I'm not even that complicated. I'm going to let you in, because I just want to say something quickly. I'm not even that complicated. I'm not asking for him to. What I'm asking for me is, we've seen the same 5 holes, and we've seen the same 5 goals or same 5 holes for whatever amount of time. Like, we've had 5 or 6 games where now I think everybody knows exactly how to close Chiefs down, number one, but then also how to score. So I struggle when I see the same players doing the same thing. I even said that it's scary at Chiefs because the problems we're having now are similar to the problems that we had, we've been crying about for the past 5 years. It's the same thing. It's the same left and right back pushing up, and then your 2 center backs are now in limbo. It's the same midfield that maybe can't play up the ball at times, doesn't support the defense. Same thing we've been crying about. What do we cry about? What did you cry about with different things? So I think for me, what disappointed me about the Sundowns game is not necessarily that Sundowns won and beat us and all of that stuff. My worry is Supersport has seen the whole and they figured it out. Mangoba read that thing in a week. He even said in the press conference, sorry guys, Chiefs has 8 midfielders that are the same. And the only difference is Castillo brings something different. He didn't want to go deeper, obviously. He said that he wants to respect. But if Mangoba can say in a press conference that, Joe, we knew what they were going to do. We understood how to attack them. And it played out exactly to the point where he even said, we should have scored even more goals. Now I look at Coach Nabi and I say, okay, quality aside, all of the things aside, at what point as a coach do you say, hey guys, they figured us out? Because there's the same cry we had versus Umirendop, for example. Remember Umirendop towards the end? What did we cry about? Teams now know how you're playing. Meanwhile, Abo Tentens King are adapting. Abo Putimo Hafe are adapting. Abo King Amazulu, they're adapting. Coming in midway through the whatever, they're adapting. Are we not letting people get away? And it's not to say losing is bad, but the way you lose. Look at Pirates. If Pirates was to lose to Sundowns in the league, you'd never see a Pirates team that was overrun. You know, even other teams. Polokwane City, it's not the first time they frustrated Sundowns. They were one of the first 2 teams to take points from Sundowns last season. They don't have quality. They don't have players that we're all crying about. But anyway, Madam Kuta.
No, man. Something just came to my. If Tetwa and Simango were at Sundowns, all Pirates, but let's keep it to Sundowns.
Yeah.
And languishing on the bench.
Yeah.
Would we not be screaming with the Sundowns is killing our football, equality is killing benching? Just those 2 players. Why is it Chiefs a player? When
besides that,
no, I'm not questioning what you just said.
No. Listen, I'm trying to help your point. Forget about that. We're saying right now that Mamelodi Sundowns is national team players, right? Totally is a national team player. Simango is a national team player. Miguel comes from playing African football at the highest level, quote unquote. Abo Serino come from Sundowns. Chivavero was on the continent scoring goals. Is it really that far? But anyway.
When we talk about national team players as well, if there's a player, Mr. Uti, I don't know if people know, that has received favoritism more than anyone from Hugo Bros, it's Pulemodi. Listen to Lezabo Adams. Pulemodi did not show up and he just apologized. The next window, he was in the national team. Those type of players, Mr. Uti, back on with Chiefs. So someone must explain, Uti, why did they think, Uti? Abum Tanzan was a sought after player. Whether he came to Chiefs at the age of 29, we have a Willie Boozer who joined Sundowns at a mature age. Abo Lodge who joined Sundowns at a mature age. Abo Makesheni Makaula. Abo Miguel Team who joined Pirates at a very mature age. And we never say Uti will figure in his King Twilight or after his prime. We still expect the pace, and they've gone on to improve even after the age of 30. How are Chiefs players like Abom Tanzani being looked down as weak players when they can actually still play? How do you go to war against Sundowns and leave abomdanzane, abomthethwa, and think you're gonna come out. Someone must answer. Nyala.
Okay, let me just
Hey
One
guys,
question.
9 o'clock, guys. 9 o'clock,
No, you
guys.
took about 10 minutes. You took about 10 minutes.
9 o'clock. Why now you keep saying this thing?
No, you took it. I'm being fair, but
let me be fair. Let me be fair. Tshwane wanted to come in first. Then can we at least be fair?
Okay.
Okay,
The issue on Tanzania, I think Tanzania has been injured most of the time, right? He's coming back from an accident that he had, so he's still in recovery. You will see if he gets a chance to play, but I know he only started training with the team last week, right? I will fault my coach. When we played against Magesi, he had Msimango playing there, but I think Msimango got injured, and that's why we saw Ditlokwe coming to the team. But if Msimango was fit, I would have started Msimango than Miguel. You know, we always speak about how Miguel keeps collecting these yellow cards, and I think it's his habit. I'm starting not to rate him much because it shows that he's disciplined. They talk about leadership, but he picks up yellow cards unnecessarily. Ox, there's a documentary, I will share it in the group, where Steve Barker was speaking about Ox and Ashley Dupree as to why they're not being used maybe by this certain coach, because he's not playing them to their strengths. You know, he says, when I bought Ox from Lepers to Stellies, all I needed for him was to break a play, find a teammate and pass his teammate. Simple as that. You know, I didn't want him to overwork himself or to do things unnecessary on the ball that will see him even lose the ball. The very same thing we saw Uzwani do in the game of Sundowns, you know. He wanted to be fancy on the ball, he lost the ball, he got punished. You know, those are certain things that you need to be very critical of your game, of how you apply your game and how you play. You know, Pule Modi was given a chance here and there, but I don't think he's match fit. But we will give him time, we will see. And in football, yeah. So let me just conclude. There are coaches that prefer certain players, you know. And I think that's the thing I don't like about football. You know, you go to a team, you have very good player, you know, we have the best ability, and you find a certain coach, but the coach doesn't prefer you. There's a coaching change, and then you start being benched. You know, we even saw it happening at Sundowns now recently, where people are questioning about why not playing certain players. You know, coaches also have preference. You know, but yeah, we'll see as the season continues as trial things go.
Agent.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to cure a certain stupidity. It won't take me 2 minutes, just 2 minutes. I'll cure the stupidity in 2 minutes. They say the ultimate stupidity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting the same results. And that applies to Nabi, just in passing. But I don't get this fetish that for the past 2 seasons, we've been crying. We're playing so many games. Towards the end of the season, we are tired, we lose Champions League. First season happens, second season it happens. What are you doing as a coach to change that? You know, are you still going to be playing the same players over and over again without changing and having a rotation? And personally, I'm not a fan of rotation, but you are the one who said, what if Sundowns had 2 teams? Because they have the quality to have 2 teams so that you don't have an excuse of being tired, right? So I don't get why people want the same team to be playing over and over again when we are playing the league, we are playing Champions League. Tuesday, February, January, whatever the time is the AFCON. The same players are still going to be playing the AFCON, you know, and then we expect them to win the Champions League, and we expect them to go and compete at the Club World Cup. That's too many games. That's too many games for 11 players. And why are we playing? Why do we have 36 players if we're not going to play them? When are we going to play them? You know, so I'm just frustrated with that, you know, Mangoba is not playing this and this, that. I feel like maybe we need to have a conversation about rotation one day. Yeah, thank you.
For time's sake, yeah, guys, no, this is all I'm going to say, just to close it off, to be honest with you. Look, guys, I don't mind losing to Sundowns. I mind this idea that we are powerless to lose to Sundowns. If you're going to lose to Sundowns, let us lose, knowing that, you know, you took them to the limit and they had to take out all of their quality in order to beat you. Not you know, they could have scored 8 goals, 10 goals, where it's like it was tough. And that's where I give kudos to teams like Bopolokwane City, who have come out and said, okay, fine, guys, today maybe we don't necessarily need to win this game like that. When people say it's knockout and all of that stuff, yeah, it's still knockout. If it's 0-0 and you're going into extra time, it's still knockout. It's still knockout if you get 1 or 2 chances from your defense and you go and score. It's still a knockout. But to lose 4-0 and to have the game done by halftime, I don't think that does you any good. I don't think that's any better. And guys, I'm going to say it again because I'm trying to also be fair, because these are the things we complain about with local coaches. Mabuti Kenyeza, what are you doing every day with Golden Arrows when you have them for you to go out and have bad games? Siema, what are you doing with these players for you to go out to have bad games? Coach Steve, you've been playing out the ball for 4 games, playing out the ball from the back for 4 games now. You've lost a couple of games or you've been under immense pressure. So at what point do we look at the other coaches? And again, guys, this is not to say you are getting rid of the coach. Same thing with Coach Mangoba. Coach Mangoba played a football at the beginning of the season that wasn't good. Nah, he had to go back and retweak, and players that come back from injury and things like that for us to see a Sundowns that we're seeing now. There's some things that you have to tweak and change. But my worry, especially at Kaizer Chiefs, is for years now, we have not tweaked and changed. We have not tried different systems or changed the systems or changed the formations or changed something. The same problems we're seeing under Cardoso and Matoho. Cardoso running out and leaving Matoho alone, and there was a space. Think about the goal that happened with Motaung over the weekend when I think it was Dudley runs out and there's a space. Motaung runs straight in and scores. Same goal that was scored by Ribeiro. Or the penalty that was given for Ribeiro. Same goal, same situation as last year, 5-1. The red card for Simango last year, similar gameplay that took out Miguel in this game. We speak about how many times have we spoken about the midfield, and we've seen the same midfielders, Martin Castillo or Martin Zwane or Martin Uzbanbane or Zwane, and same setup, same everything. So now my question becomes then, at what point then does the coach earn their salary? I don't think I am too angry at Nabi if Nabi goes, yo guys, let's just calm this game down. The counter, Cirino, don't drop back. I don't know what Cirino's doing on the right hand side, dropping back. Cirino, don't drop back. We need you for a 2-man counter. We're going to release you and Dupreez. That's how we're going to play today. Based on something we saw that Polokwane City did when they were releasing Chauke and Apolis at times. When they were seeing. And the key to what I'm talking about is when we're talking about Sundowns, tells you that we studied this thing. We studied, we saw them, we saw Guti, these are the different patterns of play. And we came out and we said, oh, this is how we're going to kill them. No, this is where we're going to go. And I'm trying to be fair to myself because I've said this about many coaches. And Unabi Samtand. But even when we're doing match reactions and people were killing me for bringing up some of the negatives, those are the things that kill you. You can't change a defensive system for 5 games, even though you've seen that it's been killing you. The first time in history, Chiefs has conceded in their first 5 league games. Yeah, we won the other ones, but that's a pattern now. So if I'm angry at Mirendorf for losing the league because he didn't adapt, surely we should ask questions now and say, before it gets bad, because Nabi, it could get worse. And then tomorrow, when Kemangroile M comes to play you, and they copy, oh, okay, Svalu Sirino, we sit back. Low block, and then they score because of those things. What are we going to say? You can build, guys. I'm not against building, but I'm against doing the same exact thing over and over and over again. I've even said, Nabi, change some things going forward. I love how we attack at times. But the problem now is we still face the same defensive hurdles. And I'm not one of those people, just as the last thing, I'm tired of being one of those people or hearing people speaking about players and quality. Guys, Msimango is about Bafana International. Ditlokwe is about Botswana International right now. One of the most important players in Supersport when he left. Gavin Hunt was crying about it. Msimango was one of the best players at TS Galaxy before he left and came to Kaizer Chiefs. Umtetwa, what was Umtetwa before he came? What was Ranga? What was Dupreez? What was I'm trying to think on the right hand side. What was Mtanzani? What was Modi? What was Potsani? What were all of those players before they arrived at Chiefs, if not a level of quality that at the very least you lose 2-0 to Sundowns? At the very least, you're number 7 in the league. Because I keep asking everybody, guys, of all of the squads in the league, how many would you guys pick? Would you guys pick that Polokwane City team to come play for Chiefs? Most people would say no. Those guys had a plan. So I'm tired about players, and I'm tired of signing new guys, and I'm tired of doing all these things and every day. I even asked, beginning of the season when we did this thing, how better did Chiefs get bringing in Ntwari, bringing in Mikel, bringing in Utotli, bringing in Kimang, the different players that we brought in across? Did we get better? Or did we just change for the sake of changing and not actually go to the crux of the matter? So for me, you need to start coaching. And maybe this time we'll give him time to go and look at these things. That's what Mamelodi Sundowns did. Coach Mangoba, for everything we say, he's changed how Sundowns play. He had his days when he lost, adapted. Now we see Sundowns right now and we're like, oh, that's a good team. Coach Rivero has fundamentally changed how Pirates plays this season. He's changed it. To come up with a plan. Fine, I'm your Sundowns, but really, guys, are we really going to say, no, the 4-0 is okay because the young Sundowns are so incredible and they've got all of these players? Or are we going to say, guys, this is the team that you have. These are the players that you have their strengths and their weaknesses. Coach Rulani last season did what? He covered for people's weaknesses, covers people's weaknesses, maximize strengths. Oh, okay. Debza, you're not very good at playing up the ball. Ibai destroy. We're going to have Kutsia drop back and play the ball up. Then give it to whoever we need to. We'll even invert Mudiba. Mudiba, you're not a good defender. It's fine. In defensive sets, we're going to have 3. We're going to bring Kutsia back in and somebody's going to cover you on the left-hand side. That's coaching. Can we get the coaching then at our teams? Can we get the coaching? And this is not just Nabi. Can't just be that you fold your hands and say, oh, Sundowns are so good. But anyway, guys, hey, I've gone too long. Guys, Lindo Pep is on right now. His show is on right now, the TTB show. So at Lindo Pep, go on over there and check him out. Thank you to everybody that gifted. Thank you to everybody that tapped the screen. Thank you to the commenters. Thank you to those that joined the panels and to the members, of course. I'll see you then tomorrow. I believe tomorrow 7:30 we've got a game. So I'll see you guys tomorrow 7:30.
Sasa GNU kusasa ungakuphikisi
yini
ngingazwani namhlanje kusasa nizobe niyiyo ngene ngathi
yini GNU naze nangene groundini naze yangene groundini agent, we saw a Pirates jersey on the pitch during a Chiefs and Sundowns game. You mustn't tell us about GNU, Billy. But anyway, guys. Guys, thank you so much. I'll see you then tomorrow. Lindo Pep. His show is on right now. Bye, everyone.